Sure. So I think there are three interconnected threats that we talk about at New Pluralists that are central to our work. The first is dehumanization. So we've been talking about this all throughout our conversation, but when groups of people are stripped of their dignity and othered, and seen as less than human with behaviors that follow, it makes it hard to impossible to work across differences, by not affording others like basic respect. So that's one. Disconnection would be the second. So this is a breakdown of the relationships, the norms and habits and relationships that really hold people together and connect people together across difference. There's sort of the isolation pieces of this, that crisis of isolation and loneliness and things that we hear about, which makes it harder then to see others' humanity, and find common ground. And then there's also structural segregation and the ways that our lives are just really separate from one another. And I would say within that, we are really attending to class divides at New Pluralists as being, when I think about like sort of two Americas that people live in, and where some of the dividing lines are. And I think across socioeconomic status, or just, whether that's a formal indicator or just a sense of like, are people feel like they're thriving in their life? There's like dividing lines there that are really keep us disconnected. And then the third piece that of the threat is distrust, right? This is the erosion of confidence in others, like goodwill, and like also, of course, institutional distrust, which we see a lot of, but as well like interpersonal suspicion, right? This makes cooperation nearly impossible if we don't trust that the other side has some good faith, willingness to come to the table. It's really, really hard to engage. So when we're talking about cultivating pluralism, we're talking about cultivating a greater sense of belonging, greater sense of social trust in one another and in our institutions, and then a greater sense of cooperation, like willingness to come together to solve problems. And I think the intersection of of dehumanization, disconnection, and distrust undermines our ability to do that.